Good morning, Glenn.
Good evening, David.
So, we are meeting again in our FPGA Talk after we had just had a short intro the last time. Okay, it wasn't short. It was a very nice intro. Welcome to the World of FPGA Podcast. I'm your host, David Kirchner, and I will lead you through the world of FPGA. And now, let's begin. Now we have decided to talk again about FPGAs.
It's a theme.
This time, our topic this time should be, or could be, the FPGA companies. So that was one point we have to talk about. Before we start, maybe did we get some feedback from the listeners from this podcast? Have you anything get?
Yeah, there were quite a few things. There were quite a few things about, topics we could talk more in detail about. One of them that I got direct feedback on was talking about more sort of FPGA hardware topics, such as ground bounce and working with high-speed signals on the PCB, things like that. Mm-hmm. Some listeners were quite interested when we mentioned the word ground bounce. And highly parallel buses and even high-speed serial links. A lot of people struggle with these topics and they don't really find people talking about them. So maybe these are areas we could go into with time. That was some of the feedback I got that I can remember off the top of my head. How about you?
Well, I find feedback that one was it was interesting that on this podcast, your voice has been heard. That's very, very interesting. So it's, that was one feedback, and the other was, what was it? Just figuring out details of the FPGA development a little bit more. So, the funny and the interesting things, not the basics. But I think we will find it here. It's a topic in the next time. So that was I have got what could be as some feedback from the episodes before. Yeah, this will be our first real episode. Now we should talk a little bit about FPGA companies. So yeah, let's start with the questions. What was your most important company you're working with?
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty standard answer, but XILINX or AMD, they call themselves these days.
Yeah, XILINX. Yeah, that was also my first company I've worked with. In the past, it was XILINX. It was bought by AMD. If somebody doesn't know this, the kind of history here, it's a little bit history channel here. We have we have the XILINX FPGAs. I guess last time we found out that we both started with the Spartan 3, if I remember correct. Yep. I was in the wrong way last time. They were talking about Spartan 6, but I've never used it. It was a Spartan 3 and later on Zing 7000, Kintex 7 and things like that. And yeah, and the newer project, I will try to use an AMD Spartan Ultrascale Plus. So that's the newest thing from AMD. Will be interesting, but I'm struggling a little bit that the data sheets are not complete now. They are working on it, and the first samples they told me in the size and the package I want to use will come in the early next year, so I have enough time to create my hardware. So we have XILINX as company. I remember to work a little bit with Lattice. So Lattice is I would say the third biggest company, FPGA company, and the more or less only independent, because XILINX is now AMD. Altera was Intel, and I guess last year they had a management buyout, and now they are Altera again.
I believe so, yeah. Yep.
Altera is also a company. Have you ever worked with Altera or get in touch with Altera?
I've never gotten in touch with them, but I've used their FPGAs on one commercial project, and also at university did a couple of subjects using their parts. The main FPGAs from them I've used is an ARIA 10, which is just sort of a standalone FPGA with lots of block RAM and things like this. But I've also used the Cyclone 4 for just more sort of hobby projects and interest's sake. I'm not sure if you know, David, but listeners may know this, but there's big retro computing projects around the Cyclone 4 FPGA because there's a low-cost development board that came out probably about 9 or 8 years ago called the DE10 Nano by a company called Jurassic. And you can basically emulate retro computers and old consoles and arcade machines and stuff, arcade boards and stuff like this on that board. So yeah, I've used the ARIA 10 and the Cyclone 4 just kind of as a bit of a hobby, I guess. But nothing major, really, just those two. How about yourself?
But it's a very, very interesting part to have it also in some private projects. That's kind of FPGA. Often you can learn a lot if you're doing this as a hobby, and not only if you're doing it in a company. There's another kind of motivation in this situation if you have it for your own project.
Correct.
Sometimes. No, I've a colleague of mine in another company has worked with Altera often because what was it? I guess one of them was flash based. Could this be?
Okay.
Not only SRAM based, so they can. This is just you put on you switch on your hardware, you power on your hardware, and then the FPGA is running, and you didn't have to wait until the software has loaded or the bitstream is loaded. So it's one of the interesting things of some flash-based FPGAs. I've read a lot about because from Germany about Cologne Chip. It's also an interesting FPGA company because they are developed I would say a kind of macro cell, which is the FPGA size with the size of 1, and they have or they're planning to have chips with a higher number of this kind of macro blocks. So they are just cutting out more chips from the wafer into one package. So they have one FPGA block or 2 or I don't know, 4, 9, and so on, and they can be connected together on the then on the wafer to get a bigger FPGA. So it's if I'm correct, it's from what I'm read and what I've heard, and it's the only company from Germany who's building their own FPGAs. So the rest is Silicon Valley, I would guess.
Right, I was just going to say, what's the benefit of doing that, of having independent FPGA silicons scattered over the die as opposed to just a larger surface area of, flip-flops and LUTs, etc. What's kind of the motivation there?
Well, I guess the motivation is you have not to develop several chips on their own, so you have not 3 designs or 6 designs or 10 designs. You have to maintain, to have to create masks, and to have to create all the wafer stuff you have to do for different chips. So you have one design, and you cut out one block as a die, or you cut out a couple of them as one block. So 3 by 3 micro blocks as one FPGA, if I understand it correctly.
Okay, interesting.
So it's the idea, I guess, is behind this to have not the high costs for all the mask data and so on. So I have to for one project to look for wafer design and for the costs, and it goes into the million for mask data or for the mask, for the different layers of the wafer. So it's a lot, of course, if you want to design your own chip.
Yeah, wouldn't recommend.
just using an FPGA to do this.
Just use an FPGA.
Yeah, always using FPGAs. Other companies. Well, we have what have we on the list?
How about FNX? Have you heard of them?
FNX, yeah, FNX, yeah. I guess it's just people from Lattice have
Altera, actually.
Altera,
Altera, yeah.
Altera. Yep. I thought it's also from Lattice.
It could be. It could be a combination. Yes.
All the people who left the other companies go to FNX. Also interesting things. Yeah, they have. I guess they have also kind of FPGA as IP block. To put in your own chips, or you can also buy this FPGAs from them, and they have also SoCs, if I'm correct.
That's correct, and you can put soft core RISC-Vs on there, but you can also put hard RISC-V cores on there now. That's their most latest offering.
That's
so
good.
They're becoming very capable now, actually.
Yeah. It's like the Zynq with an ARM core. No, have a RISC-V core. That's interesting.
So you don't have the licensing costs.
Yeah, that's right. RISC-V has no licensing. Yeah.
That's right.
What have we not? GoWin, a Chinese company. I've met the CEO at I guess it was the Embedded World. I think so. Or the electronic. I think it was the Embedded World. So it's an interesting company. They have also slightly little bit the same as Lattice, so some small FPGAs, but also some with more capable with ZERDES with a lot of registers, but not the fastest one like AMD has. But for general purpose things, it could be also interesting. GoWin is also one company I've heard from.
Have you used it on any commercial projects? I've personally only really seen it in the open source education space. I haven't seen any projects use them, at least not down here or anyone I know of. How about over in Germany? Do they get used?
No. I've never. No. I know the company Trends from Germany who are building up a lot of development boards on their own. They have worked with GoWin to create a board. When I'm right. I have to do some research before. Not so many question marks within this. But maybe some listeners have other information and they can correct us and set up some feedback about this.
That's right.
But an interesting thing was at the company GoWin, when I'm talking to the CEO, that was the first company who would also sell the FPGAs as dies, and not only in packages. That was for one project a possible way. It was not done. We haven't developed this, but it was an idea to use a bare die on a board because of space and so on. And GoWin was the only company who were I've talked to were interested to do this also. So it's not the normal thing. So Lattice. Yeah, we had Altera, Lattice. Altera was Intel. No, it's not Intel.
Yep.
But it is an Intel company.
It's kind of Intel.
It's some kind of Intel. Yeah. Well, what was? Okay, a long time ago there was Atmel. Atmel has FPGAs. Is now Microchip.
That's right, the polar fire. Yeah.
Yeah. But the polar fire comes from Microsemi and is no Microchip.
Yep. Okay. Yep.
Because Atmel has only small FPGAs or CPLDs, or maybe no FPGAs. And so the polar fire was from Microsemi. Yeah, that was Microsemi. And now it's Microchip. So Microchip is also buying different companies to get a bigger portfolio.
Yeah, right. Don't want to make their own, just buy them out.
Some years ago, I've seen a diagram from all the different companies who bought the other company and which get together to create a new company. And so it was an interesting diagram. I've never found it again. So it's if you're running at this or if you've seen this diagram, you have to send it to me, please.
Yeah, right. That'd be quite funny because from the kind of the general chip world, more on the power supply and analog side, you've basically just got analog devices, Texas Instruments, and a handful of others left. Everyone else got bought out.
Yeah, and AMD has bought, not AMD, Analog Devices had bought Lattice and Linear Technology.
Yeah. Everyone's getting
Lattice Lattice wasn't bought.
No,
as far as I know, not yet. Yeah, who will bought them? Maybe Google.
Maybe
to have some FPGA technology in their portfolio. Yeah,
that's right. A bit of diversification.
Well, inside Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
But which is Meta then buying? Which company? But am I right? The FPGAs from AMD are also in the centers of in the
data centers.
Yeah, in the data centers from Amazon. So the Amazon Web Service has also FPGAs from AMD in their portfolio too, where can you run your code.
I was going to say, are they mainly the Versals? That's what I've heard, that mainly the Versals get used in the data centers.
Mm-hmm. That could be possible, yeah.
Have you worked with a Versal or know anyone that's used one? I've never met anyone in Australia that has used one. They're too expensive for it.
No, never used them. I've on my desk one FPGA development board, which is very, very, very expensive. It's with an Vertex Ultra Scale Plus with this, what is it called? The HMB or the HBM? The memory, the high bandwidth memory. The
high
HBM.
bandwidth memory, yeah.
I guess the set we bought it a little bit cheaper, but the list says something about 25,000 euros for one FPGA board.
Oh God! Don't blow it up.
That's always my thing. If I turn it on, no, don't
no
go.
Smoke coming out.
Don't go, don't go away. Don't pass away my board.
That's right.
So just with the ASD, always ASD safe and so on. It's important in this moment.
Yes.
But this is the biggest one I've working. So Kintex 7 is, well, it's okay. It's in the, I guess, 2,000 euro range. It's also.
What's the main benefit of the Kintex 7? I've never used one down here. I know it's available, but it's also quite expensive.
It's quite expensive. That's right. You have a lot of IOs you can use.
Oh, right.
But you have also a lot of block memory for example, if you have some video applications and you need a lot of line buffers, then you need a lot of block RAMs, and you can use this Kintex. And you have a quite fast. You can use it at high frequency on the inside. So it's not so fast as the Vertex, but it's faster than all the Spartan or what is it? Artix chips. So it's they have the gigabit transceivers on the one side, and they have a lot of IOs on the other side, and you can put your DDR, what is it, 3? Yeah, I guess DDR3 memory to it. And that was standard, I would say, 10 years ago. And that's why I'm thinking about the Spartan's Ultrascale Plus, because this is the first and I guess only chip where you can put DDR5 memory on it, and it has what is it, an hard IP for memory controller on it, on the chip. So it doesn't need any more this very, very funny memory controller from XILINX. You have it in hardware, and you have all the bandwidth you want to use. It's I'm hope it will work.
That sounds nice on paper.
It sounds nice on paper. That's right. My calculation.
Do tell us your experience when you turn it on.
Yeah, so next year.
Yeah, you'll have to wait next year, folks.
Yes, but I will talk about it when it works. If it's not work, I will postpone it a little bit.
Yep. Yep.
I guess that's all the companies we both knew, and I guess there are a lot of more companies out there who will. Or not so much companies, more companies will do microprocessors or something like that, but not FPGAs. That's too...
Quite niche.
Yeah. But it's an important niche, I guess. So that's why we are working in it. And it's a very interesting niche. So
that's right.
We will try to use other FPGAs, but I think AMD will be stay on top one for a long time on my side. I don't know on your side, will you change your FPGA?
I think a lot of it comes down to the customer support as well. So I don't know if this has been your experience there as well, but if we're struggling with some maybe IP cores in a ultra scale or something like this, we can't really get support from XILINX down here. We can try with, it's a big problem. The XILINX forums are basically like a tumbleweed at this point. You raise a question and you'll get an answer from maybe another enthusiast, not a XILINX employee. And the field application engineers we have down here, they are helpful and they try their best, but there's still quite a big gap between the capabilities of the chips and how much they can help us with. But it's a bit more complex than that because a lot of the issues we have are very detailed. And so that kind of relies on the companies here being open with their IP. And a lot of companies here get a bit reserved when that happens. And so we've kind of got this situation, which maybe is special to us, where we can't get help from XILINX unless, your company buys millions of FPGAs from XILINX, then they'll listen to you. But if you're a startup, you're not going to get a word from San Jose or anywhere. So we have that problem, I would say. But still, most companies use XILINX because it's the known name and they feel comfortable. They get a bit nervous if you mention another name they haven't heard. And look, understandably, right? I mean, there's a lot of risk of getting an FPGA-based product to market. It's definitely orders of magnitude more in complexity than, say, a microcontroller. So I would still say in the near future, XILINX would still dominate the Australian market, particularly for medium to high end. But for low end, maybe that'll change. I'm not sure, but I think potentially it may change if more commercial projects kind of use them, because we also everyone sort of watches everyone, right? If no one uses another brand, well, no one's going to take the chance, sort of thing. Or if they do, it's a very rare case. So I would still say XILINX, but maybe Altera might come back actually. Maybe. But really? Time will tell. Okay. How about over there?
Well, I think all in the smaller or mid-range, Lattice will do a lot more also in help other people. So the support from Lattice, I guess, could be better for some also smaller companies, because they know that the Intel and the AMDs in this world will support the big companies who bought a lot of FPGAs, as you said. And for the smaller one, I could get that is the room for Lattice or FPGAs. So both companies will do a lot to get customers to get them happy and to bring the information to the customers they need. and to help if there's something not running as they want to. That's my guess. But in the mid or higher range, there is no really competitor outside AMD or Intel.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, will be a funny or interesting time in the next years. What will happen? Maybe just a new company will arrive, but I guess you have to work with a new development system, and that's not always fun. I remember Lattice has 3 different development systems for the FPGA in parallel. So if you have the one FPGA, you use one software. If you have the other FPGA, you use the other software. Well, maybe they're doing this together to one, but the last time I've worked with it a little bit, this was not so nice. It was not the same look and feel between the different softwares. The one was very old, like
did it look like the 70s?
Well, maybe the 19th.
The 90s. Oh, they're upgrading.
Yeah. It's like Windows 95 against Windows 3.1 or 11. 11 was also interesting.
Yeah, right.
Well, I think that's all for today.
Yep, sounds good.
Then we will meet again for the next FPGA talk, and the topic we will presentate the next time.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, then have a nice day, have a nice morning, and we will hear us in with our listeners will hear us in some weeks.
Yep. Sounds good. Enjoy your adventure tomorrow. Yeah. Sounds fun with your family.
Thanks a lot. Then goodbye.
Bis nächste Mal.
If you found this episode helpful, please rate it on Apple Podcasts and share it with your colleagues and friends. That's the end of today's podcast episode. Thank you for listening and for your attention. So I say goodbye. Here next time, your David Kirchner.